So we will start, and after all, the recording will be shared, and hopefully more of people who wanted to attend the seminar will be able to join us at least in our means of communication. So, good morning, everyone who is interested in enterprise resource planning, in Industry 4.0, in Industry 5.0, and all other interesting and exciting things. Welcome to the webinar organized by Engineering and Technology Industries Association of Lithuania, Limpra. And I would kindly ask everyone, yes, Caesar, I see that mic is off. So this webinar is organized as a part of European project RestartSMEs. And in Lithuania, we do have Limpra as a key organizer of this project, and it's done in collaboration with EuroCAT. My name is Oriana Mashali. I will be a moderator of today's event. And if you are willing to turn your cameras on, as Karolis and Narcís did, so please do that, as it would be really great to see you at least virtually. Vidmantas, thank you so much as well. Manufacturing SMEs were invited to this international workshop to discuss ERP systems and manufacturing process. And yes, today we will dedicate time only for this issue. Narcís Calvet is our keynote speaker today. He is a digital transformation consultant and project manager at GLAM SOFTWARE. Narcís is a computer software engineer and MBA graduate with 20 years experience in the software industry. Narcís' specialization areas are digital transformation and software development. That's why we're so happy to have him today. And currently, Narcís is mostly working with ERP software implementation. So we will have very concrete and practical presentation of Narcís later on. But before Narcís' presentation, we do have Karolis Skebas, who is Limpra Export Development Manager. And Karolis will speak about RestartSMEs project briefly. And the third part is dedicated to questions and answers and discussions. Hopefully we do have some discussions, and all of you are welcome to join that part as well. But before giving the floor for Karolis and Narcís, some technical issues that I would like to remind. So first of all, presentations will be distributed, so no need to make print screens, notes, or anything. You will get everything as well as the recording, as I mentioned it before. You may write down your questions in the chat bot while both of presentations, and Narcís, we discussed with him, he is going to answer when he will see the question there. If not, so we will have this Q&A part at the end. And after all the presentations, you're welcome to turn on your cameras and mics and ask all the questions and share your insights and ideas directly. So that's it from my side. And now, Karolis, virtual floor is yours.
Thank you, Oriana. Glad to see you all here this morning. And let me share the slides. And I guess you are able to see my slides.
Yes, it's all okay.
Okay, so today I will represent RestartSME project. What is it about? And what is the RestartSME initiative actually, and how it was created? So Restart is the initiative promoted by the European Commission to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic and this economic downturns actually. And at the moment nowadays we have more challenges, especially manufacturing industry companies. We have unstable geopolitical situation. Prices rose up of energetic gas, and raw materials. So the project aims to build resilience of manufacturing SMEs in automotive, machinery and equipment, food and textile by analyzing the digitalization needs, and will offer concrete tools to adopt modern technologies such as artificial intelligence, robotics, digitalization, cybersecurity, IoT, and other new technology topics. So the main goal, as we know at the moment, our manufacturing industry are already living in Industry 4.0 and installing more and more every day. But the the main goal is to match technology providers, traditional manufacturer, and supportive organizations to build meaningful connections and together transition to Industry 5.0, which is getting more and more common in manufacturing industry. So there are 6 steps actually: assessment of digital transformation readiness, customized tailor-made digitalization plan for SMEs in transition, upskilling and reskilling workforce, matchmaking between traditional SMEs and the digital transformation providers, access to new clients, markets for technology providers, and thriving community of like-minded entrepreneurs and supportive partners. So as I mentioned, there are several simple 6 steps. So assessment of digital transformation readiness. So first of all, company should register in the system. Later on, I will provide the web page. And there you will find and you have to fill up assessment digital tool. And after, when you will fill up the assessment digital tool, you will get a description and customized technology adoption roadmap. And in this roadmap, you're gonna see in which level your company is in digitalization process. What should be done, what should be done more, what should be done less. And after this assessment tool description, I encourage all the companies, all the participants to participate in matching with technology providers during the hackathon. So there will be taking place 5 hackathons, different in different countries. So later on, I will mention about the nearest one in Vilnius. And also, I encourage you to participate in workforce training and upskilling events, and such as seminars, workshops, and those taking place also widely in different countries. And after the registration, you will be able to follow all news about all events, about all hackathons. So be active and follow the news. And after all events, you will be able to get business coaching. So the nearest hackathon, Hack for Restart, it will take place in Vilnius in October 2021, and it will be hybrid, online and physical. So this hackathon will cover 3 main topics: robotics, digitalization, and systems interoperability. So, for example, if you are a traditional manufacturing SME company and you're facing some issues with robotics, digitalization, or ERP systems, I encourage you to register in our system, fill up the registration form, write the challenge, describe the challenge, and then I encourage tech-savvy companies to register also in the hackathon to see what kind of challenges was raised. And maybe some of tech-savvies have their own challenges, which would be common and related to manufacturing SME companies, and provide solutions for all those challenges. So I encourage you, it's not so far away, 1 month. And stay tuned and follow all the information. And actually, as Oriana mentioned it, all the information, all the slides will be shared in our page, in the Restart SME page. So you will be able easily to find all the information and recording of this webinar. So good luck, and let's move forward.
Thank you, Karolis, for your information. Before going to Hack for Restart hackathon in a month, we still have a chance to hear our foreign guest, and I'm very happy seeing that more attendees joined us. So, Narcís, at the moment, the floor is yours, and we are looking forward to have your insights and your experience.
Okay, thank you very much, Oriana. So let me share my screen with you. Okay, hope you can all see my screen.
Yes, it starts. Yeah,
okay.
So it's all great. Thank you.
Excellent. So we are going to speak about ERP systems interoperability today. This is a session to discuss about digital transformation with a special emphasis on ERP software and how it can help manufacturing companies achieve their strategic goals. Okay. This is a short index of what I'm going to speak about in the following minutes. I'm going to present the GLAM software, the company I work for, and myself. We're going to speak about digital transformation and ERP software and how it can help in the digital transformation process. We are also going to speak about systems interoperability. And finally, I'm going to introduce sustainability in the context of digital transformation. So Oriana already introduced you to me, so there's little I can add here. Just let you know that I started with a technical background, and throughout the years and experience, I moved to the business side of software. No? As Oriana said, my specializations are digital transformation and software development. And I'm a Technology and Industry 4.0 certified consultant by Exio, which is the Catalan government's agency for business competitiveness. If you are interested in contacting me, you can find my email address here or my LinkedIn profile. You can also find GLAM Software's website here and, well, phone number. So let me speak you a little bit about GLAM Software. We are a small SME software company in Girona, in Catalonia. We design, develop, and implement custom ERP software and help companies in their digital transformation process. Our specialization fields are especially manufacturing and planning. And EURECAT, one member of the RestartSME project, is a research center in Catalonia and is our technological partner. So they invited us to do this session. Actually, they are just in front of our office doors. So how do we approach digital transformation at GLAM Software? Well, throughout the years we developed our own method. So in the technical field, we have basically four roles which participate in the process. They are, first of all, consultants, which are business and process consultants who help businesses define their situation, define their goals, or define what needs to be done to solve their problems. Next one, we have project managers. Project managers are GLAM's main responsibles in customer projects, and they are technical analysts that take on consultants' work and bring it to the team to implement. Those persons who mostly implement projects at customers are service managers. They implement, they teach, and they also offer on a daily help desk support on a daily basis. They are the most the day-to-day contact person with our customers. And finally, we have since we develop custom solutions and we have our own ERP software, 100% ours, we have a strong development team with experienced developers. Okay. So let's start with the content of this talk. I will start speaking with digital transformation, and I'll speak a little bit more about business process and people than technology, because it's the key to successful digital transformation. Basically, digital transformation is the process in which an entire company adapts to changes on its environment with the support of technology. So digital business strategy implies a dynamic synchronization between business and IT to gain a competitive advantage. This is in sharp contrast to previous beliefs that said that business strategy and IT strategy had to be aligned, but that's not enough. They have to be aligned, of course, but they have to be part of the same strategy. They have to be the same strategy. Okay, so competitive advantage is aligned, is achieved by aligning technology with business, as I just said, and it is used to manage information, knowledge, and being able to exploit the connection between people and knowledge to help decision making. As Simon Sinek said, 100% of customers are people, 100% of employees are people as well. So if you don't understand people, you don't understand business. And let me add that if you don't understand business, you cannot transform it digitally. That's why it's so important that digital transformation puts people on the front, helping them explore their capacities, knowledge, abilities, etc., to be able to not have to perform repetitive tasks. Machines can do that, and enable them to bring value to their organizations. Okay, let's continue with enterprise, with ERP, which is the acronym for Enterprise Resources Planning. An ERP system is not only a software application, but a suite of integrated applications which manage business activities and resources. And it includes a wide area in the business world, not only including financials. Most people were hearing about ERP are saying this is the accounting software. No, it's not only finance. As the word says, it needs to plan. The P on ERP stands for planning. So technically speaking, if the tool is not able to plan corporate resources, it's not an ERP. Okay, so a proper information system is essential in a digital transformation process. So why companies should transform? Well, the final goal in a company is reaching operational intelligence, which is a real-time dynamic business analysis, which provides high visibility to help understanding our business and help in decision-making process. So companies, we see that day-to-day, the companies generate a huge amount of data, but usually they don't know how to exploit and benefit from it. Since current technology allows efficient exploitation of this information, digital transformation simplifies this exploration, converting it to useful information to help in the decision-making process and adapt businesses to a VUCA environment. VUCA acronym stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. And how digital transformation can be achieved in manufacturing companies, especially. Well, what you can see in this slide is a generic manufacturing digital transformation or ERP implementation roadmap. It doesn't need to be necessarily implemented in this specific order, but some stages are prerequisites for others, as I will explain now. And as I also elaborate later on, it's important, we consider it's very important, or it's highly recommendable to implement all those steps in different stages, okay? Let's start with the finance model, okay? It helps standardization and information uniformity. Later on, we have the manufacturing and factoring or operations module, which defines what we call BOM, which is the bill of materials and manufacturing routing, where we define the raw materials we will use for manufacturing our products and the operations we will need to perform on them to be able to obtain those products. Having this information help us get theoretical costs, and to be able to obtain theoretical manufacturing costs, we need to register production times, theoretical production times, and quantities, raw material quantities used in the production, okay? Also, to bring step two to the next level, we need to implement a warehouse management system, WMS, which includes inventory and warehouse locations. Inventory is compulsory for being able to transform manufacturing. Locations are optional. Okay. How inventory is documented on ERP systems? Well, there are two ways, but all of them is made through using delivery notes. Raw materials come into our system documenting purchase delivery notes, so we have to register them, and raw materials are consumed, leave our system during the manufacturing process. They get into our products. And on the opposite side, products are increased by manufacturing them and decreased with the sales delivery notes we deliver to our customers. Also, to be able to obtain costs, as I said before, with those delivery notes, we have to document a couple more things, which are prices. We need to document materials prices, otherwise we won't be able to calculate their costs, and also batch numbers for quality purposes and also traceability. Okay, so if we achieve step 2 and 3, we have all the elements, nearly all the elements ready to start planning. We would get into the MRP2 module, which is stands for Manufacturing Resource Planning. Okay, and this is about taking all this theoretical information and inventory to start planning. This involves planning the materials we will need to purchase to accomplish with the fabrication orders, or for the sales orders we have our customers made us. So with the sales orders, we elaborate fabrication orders and also purchase orders. And in order to be able to do that, we need to document something more into our system. The ERP system of the MRP2 module needs to know about our factory capacities. Okay, we need to inform the systems how many people there are in the factory, which days are they working, when is the factory open, which capacity, which machines do we have, how many production lines or machines, how many hours can those machines work, or how many units are they able to manufacture, etc. We have to document all this information in the system so that it has all the elements able to calculate and plan accordingly. Okay, otherwise the system would consider there are infinite resources and we can produce as much as we want, which unfortunately that's not the case. Okay, so if we still want to go one step further, we could add artificial intelligence into the MRP module. So we could get intelligent manufacturing with the APS model, which stands for Advanced Planning and Scheduling. It's the evolution of the MRP system, adding artificial intelligence to it, with assisting it with better, more intelligent planning. Okay. Next one. We have the data acquisition systems from the factory, which is the MES module, which stands for Manufacturing Execution System. And basically that's where the factory employees register the information they used for producing, or if it's an automatized factory, it's directly documented in the MES software. There, in a later slide, I will elaborate further on that. But basically, what needs to be done here is documenting materials consumptions and production times to be able to obtain real manufacturing costs. So with theoretical cost and real cost, we can compare if there are any deviations, if our manufacturing process needs to be corrected, or take any corresponding action to compensate for differences, or maybe we have to readjust our theoretical information. Okay. Next one is the maintenance module. This has to be in sync with the manufacturing planning, because when there's some plant maintenance operation, it influences planning. So work center cannot be used for manufacturing if it has maintenance operation plant. Okay, and it also influences the data acquisition, of course, because it has to be, the floor plan has to be informed about this maintenance. Next module is the project management. This will depend on the kind of each company. If companies are producing in a serial manner, they probably won't do project management, or they will do it for not for manufacturing, but for other purposes, maybe product design or quality or research. But those companies which manufacture custom projects where barely two products are identical, they will need to plan their manufacturing or organize their manufacturing with a project management tool. Okay, in a similar way as the manufacturing and purchasing planning, similar data needs to be documented, and project management allows also task planning. Okay, so let's continue with the roadmap. There are some more transversal areas that are also important. Quality management, it's very much related with logistics and manufacturing, because we can perform quality tests when receiving goods or when sending goods, but we can also perform quality operations during the manufacturing process. Next one is data analytics or business intelligence. This is very important. This is the cherry on top of the cake, and it is transversal to all areas in the information system. This combines information to be able to analyze the situation, the company situations, and help with decision making. We usually call BI CEO's tool, because most CEOs don't even open the ERP software. They only look at BI. Okay. Next module is the CRM, customer relationship module. Is mostly used in commercial and sales areas, but it's rather transversal too. And finally, we have tools for communicating with our suppliers or employees. First one would be an extranet. The second one could be an internet for our employees. Okay. So what do companies get with digital transformation? First of all, before start discussing with all those bullet points, let me tell you that why digital transformation is both an opportunity and a threat for companies. As I said before, companies or our environment, not only companies, is in constant movement. It's a VUCA environment. So companies not taking advantage from the opportunity will be the losers. Those who take it will benefit from it. And let me explain it with a short story about a frog in hot water. If you take a pot with boiling water and throw a frog into it, he will immediately jump to save himself. No, otherwise, if you take the same water, it's cold or mild, and you put the frog in, the frog will feel comfortable. But if you start warming up the water, the frog will notice the gradual change in temperature and will eventually die from water boiling. And that's exactly what happens with companies. No? The initial change, that radical change, was what happened during the COVID-19 pandemic with supply chain disruptions. But fortunately, this doesn't happen every day. What happens every day is that our environment is slowly, constantly moving and changing. So our companies need to be aware about those changes in the environment and constantly work on adapting to them, so they don't get lost in the process and they are not able to catch up with this. That's why digital transformation is both an opportunity and a threat for companies. Okay. So which benefits do manufacturing companies get with the digital transformation process? Okay, they obtain cost efficiency, which implies reducing cost, producing faster, etc. Quality improvement, or improves the quality of products and services. It does improve the data and data analysis, so we can make founded decisions based on the data documented in the system. We can improve our relationship with our customers and suppliers, improving their experience, communication, ensuring their loyalty, etc. We also improve the relationship with our employees, or improve their work experience. Companies need to be attractive to talent, making their work experience easier and better. If we are not attractive to talent, talent will go elsewhere. Moreover, that's what we have seen the last 2 years with the COVID-19 pandemic. So companies, for example, when it's possible, companies not offering remote working to employees, for example, at least in the IT world, then they are out of the market. We need to be attractive for employees. We can also improve with generating new business models with the support of technology to develop new products and services. And we can also improve the relationship with our stakeholders. They can see how the company is evolving and its impact in the society. So how should we approach the ERP implementation process? Those are most of the aspects we need to consider when analyzing ERP system options. Again, you'll see that I will be speaking more about people and business than technology, because that's fundamental. Okay, first of all, we need to have very clear objectives and a purpose for digital transformation. Why should we transform? Or where do we want to get? Also, we need to have 100% company management commitment. If the company direction is not aligned with those objectives and the company purpose, the process is going to fail. They will not be able to communicate this throughout the organization, so it will hardly work. Next one is what we say, that the IT provider must be a partner, because what we have found is that most of the times there's a coordination problem between a company and IT providers, because one of the most usual mistakes is standardizing solution proposals and tools. To solve this problem, we think it's very, very important that IT providers should be more partners than suppliers. They need to understand each company characteristics and objectives. Otherwise, it's not possible to design a coherent, sustainable, and efficient digitalization strategy. Okay, SMEs value very possibility IT suppliers, which not only provide technology but also added value services focused on people, helping them understanding their work, their business, their workflows, and facilitating them the tools to improve their work, then exploit their knowledge, abilities, and training to be able to do what I explained earlier in the talk. They don't need to be performing very repetitive tasks. They don't need to be spending hours elaborating Excel spreadsheets. The systems can do that. We have the technology to do that. People needs to be able to bring value to companies and to the job where they can add value. Okay, if all these all those requirements are not met, resistance to change is nearly guaranteed. No, it's inherent in the process. So, especially company management commitment and aligning with all those points and communicating properly to the organization is essential for that. Next one is what a role we call internal project manager. This is very important because the internal project manager needs to work towards those global objectives. Otherwise, different actors in the company, starting for department managers or key users, they are focused on the area, and sometimes they don't see the overall goals. So if there's not a figure which is coordinating all this information and work, the project can easily lean towards one of those most pushing areas and deviate from the original goals. Okay, when all those roles are defined, it's very important also the consulting job, as explained in the beginning of the presentation, because we have to spend time necessary to analyze the workflows and business processes, listening to users, to be able to assess where we are, which is our starting point, and how we will achieve those goals we have set. Then during this process and getting into a slightly more technical area, we have to analyze which data migration needs to be done in the project, or which data and tools need to be synchronized. Another important area is the infrastructure. No, should our information system be an on-premise solution or be a cloud platform? We should consider security needs and issues. We should consider accessibility options also. Will this tool be used only in desktop computers in a closed location, or should it be accessible in a global way with mobile devices or different time or working times, etc. No? Another very important topic is, should our information system be a standard solution, a business sector vertical solution, or custom solution? Standard solutions are most widely available, and what we have found is that companies acquiring a standard solution, they need to adapt their business to quite standardized processes. Sometimes those tools don't adapt enough to companies, especially small and medium enterprises. Next one would be business sector verticals. Those tools are more specific to your business sector probably, and they will cover some of the specifics of it, although your company will need to adapt to the sector standards. No? One curious thing we have found with our experience is that sometimes companies that have a vertical solution, they get quite abused by their providers, because since they are so specific, there's a lack of competition. So when they need something, companies get tied to those solutions, and when they need some customization or some change, the provider abuses a little bit of their position. Okay, and finally there's the custom option. Custom option will be the solution that will adapt 100% to your company. At the beginning, it may seem the most expensive option, but in the end, it may turn out not to be so. I'll further elaborate on that. Okay. Then we, in sync with the data migration and synchronization options, we need to consider system integration options. Sorry, if there are different tools in the company that need to be integrated. As I said, an ERP system is not a single application necessarily. It can be comprised by different systems. We need to see how these systems need to be integrated. Okay. After that, we have to develop a realistic implementation plan. It's utopic thinking that we will switch systems in one day for another one. One day we will stop working with the old system, and the next day we will start working with a new system. This and the end for the entire company. This usually doesn't work and causes a lot of stress and insecurities in the company. What we consider works best is defining a strategy and start adding value to the company little by little, consolidating different areas, so the transition period is the smoothest as possible. Okay. And finally, companies need to understand the total cost of ownership of an ERP system, because this comprises many aspects. They have to make the effort to design their strategy. Their reaction needs to be committed. An internal project manager, as I said before, needs to do the job of organizing, of coordinating everything. The time needs to be spent together with the provider to analyze workflows, to validate data, to validate business processes, etc. This takes a lot of time from a company as well. And not only that, it's not implementing ERP software is not about purchasing a software license, buying a single application. It's a continuous process. So you should consider also training or support fees, maybe, or even maintenance, or probably once you have reached initial goals, since the environment is changing, also companies are maturing, you will probably need to add more and more functionality to the system. Okay. Let me show you next slide. Let me show you a very short video which illustrates what I just explained. Okay, this video is a very graphical representation or helps very much illustrate what I just explained. It's about dedicating or investing the necessary resources to achieve expected results. Okay. Let's continue with. Sorry. Okay. Let's go into the. Continue with systems interoperability. Basically, interoperability is the ability of different systems to connect and communicate in a coordinated way. Much better if it's without any effort from the end users. So, in particular, with manufacturing companies, the systems integration options in the manufacturing area are what in the part where I call the MES module, the manufacturing execution system. And it can be done in many different ways, either from employees registering data into the computer directly. Sometimes some companies even register them in a sheet of paper. They bring employees bring this information to the offices where this is documented, but can also go much farther with machine connection, with sensors or different devices, and up to a fully automated industry throughout the SCADA system with all manufacturing process and equipments connected and automated. Okay, and this SCADA system, which would transfer or communicate with the ERP system to communicate the information I told you before. Basically, this would be both product consumptions, materials consumptions, products manufacturing, how many units we have manufactured, and how much time it has taken, how many resources have been consumed to be able to get real manufacturing costs. Okay, it can be done with part of all this system would be cyber physical systems, which are devices linked to computer to calculate and analyze information. Then a little more wide concept is the digital twin in a manufacturing factory, which is a collection of devices, sensors, automatisms, etc., that reproduce a virtual processing model, which connects the physical wall with the virtual wall to basically capture and analyze data. And as you will probably know, this is what Industry 4.0 is about. But Industry 4.0 is not only about for putting the focus on the products, but or putting the focus on works organization is a way of organizing work and with the help of technology and digitalization. Okay. So to be able to build this interoperability with our systems, as I said before, an ERP software is not a single application, it's a suite of integrated applications. We have different integration options. There's ADI, which stands for Electronic Data Interchange, which is some standards to share documents with our customers or suppliers. Basically comprises orders, either it's sales or purchase orders, delivery notes, invoices, etc. Then a very common integration is also custom integrations. They are mostly done with RESTful APIs, which are web technologies where different systems agree a communication protocol with different arguments and results. So one system communicates with the other via website call with specified arguments and obtains a response from it, basically. Other simpler options are database synchronization, where two systems agree to share a database where one system records information and the other one retrieves from it, and vice versa. and also in a similar way, plain files, just one system outputs a file which another system integrates into its database. Okay, who knows if maybe in the near future blockchain technology offers some further integration options as well. And what is very important here is always keeping in mind and always preserving data integrity. Okay, building bidirectional synchronizations is possible, but it's difficult to maintain, to keep data integrity and not get duplicate information into our system. Okay, it's very important to define which elements on each system will be the master of each data element. For example, we should consider whether the CRM module should be the customer master. It's quite common that companies have a generic CRM tool which integrates with the operations ERP system. So we should analyze whether, for example, the CRM module should be the customer's master or should it be the ERP system. If we have separate manufacturing and financial systems, is which one should be the master for customers or for products, for example. All those debates need to be considered during the consulting and analysis process to be able to build strong and reliable systems. Okay. Finally, I'm about to finish my presentation. I'm going to introduce you sustainable digital transformation, because sustainability in digital transformation is not only doing the right thing, it's about building the thing right. Okay. So basically, optimizing companies' supply chain and business processes involve gains in sustainability, but it's very important not only what you build, but also how you build it. You must be constantly asking sustainability-driven questions at every point in the process to make sure the end product does more good than harm. It involves thinking about the stakeholder impact of not only what you build, but how you build it. So some aspects towards sustainability are those listed here. For example, building circular supply chain, which introduces renewable, recyclable, or biodegradable materials, which can be used in different life cycles to reduce costs and increase predictability. Another very related topic is recovery and recycle, which is reusing or reviving materials previously designed as waste for other uses. Is maybe another material which would be a waste from other manufacturing process, but we can use it for another production process. It is called what are called byproducts, for example. Also, we should consider extending products life. This means recapturing value that otherwise would be disposed. This means building products which are repairable, upgradable. This includes that we also try to maintain our resources, and basically it's about keeping goods useful economically for as long as possible. Okay. Next one is sharing platforms. This creates new business opportunities for all the actors. They can rent, share, swap their idle goods. So fewer resources are invested into making products, resources that are infrequently used. So consumers have a new way to both make and save money from this sharing. And finally, is the concept of building of commercializing, selling products as services instead of products themselves, where manufacturers and retailers start to bear the total cost of ownership, adjusting the focus to longevity and reliability of products and building new relationships with customers. For example, I read about Michelin, the tire manufacturer, not charging for selling tires, but per kilometer for tires, or a very common example of this in the IT industry is either software as a service or even hardware as a service. Instead of buying a hardware piece, a physical server, for example, we could rent a virtual service or cloud server, where an external company has to build a data center, has to care about the hardware, and has to keep with the energy needs, cooling needs, etc. And when we need to scale this service, we don't have to care about the hardware or its limitation. We just are purchasing from our supplier a specific service where we can easily escalate, and the provider needs to consider what has to be done to be able to offer that to customers. And basically all these topics, of course, lead to optimization in goods consumer, machine usage, energy consumers, etc. Okay, that's all from my part. Thank you very much for everyone attending the session, and also thanks to Eureka, Limpra, and the RestartSMEs project for inviting us, presenting our view of digital transformation and ERP systems implementation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Narcís, for very detailed and concrete presentation. It was very well explained, different aspects of ERPs companies must have in mind while working with those systems. So thank you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to turn on your cameras and mics, as we do have Q&A and discussion session. So please join us. And Narcís, you are not going to get any rest, as we do have several questions already. And thank you, Saulis, for being so active and putting your concrete questions there. So, Narcís, Saulis Bužinskas is asking, do you have a more specific example where a digital twin model is applied in manufacturing with real business benefits?
Okay, well, basically, I think it's quite a specific of what I said. No, it's basically about in the manufacturing area, it's about documenting the inventory. We have to have all this information set. We have to document. I used to call what I described as the BOM and manufacturing routing, which is, let me repeat, it's the bill of materials, the materials we need to use to manufacture a product, and also the operations we need to perform on those materials to manufacture a product. Is like a cooking recipe, you know, with all the ingredients and the steps we need to perform. This is basic in the manufacturing world to be able to digitalize that. And we also have to bear in mind that we have to register. This is from the theoretical point of view. Then we also have to be able to register the materials, the inventory. If we cannot count our inventory, we are not able to plan manufacturing, and we are not able to calculate costs. No? We need to document these inventory prices, and then when we manufacture and deliver those goods, then it also compensates our inventory. I'm not sure whether if the question was on that direction, or there's more specific question about manufacturing and digitalization.
So if you would like to add something, so feel free to join us here. And another question from Solus, which is very related to questions of other attendees, people who registered. We had a chance to write down top issues that we care regarding ERPs. And one of the issues was regarding that ERP in any company faces challenges of all habits, resistance from internal users, lack of priority, and other really bad challenges that we face. And Solus also puts that, could you give any advice on increasing employee engagement and buy-in during the ERP implementation process, which means that employees will need to make changes in their day-to-day processes. Resistant to change is normal and expected, yet maybe you have some ideas which can increase success. And Solus said that top management provides full support and is engaged in the rollout process. So do you have any tips regarding this?
Well, we don't have a special formula for that, but as you said, it's first of all, it's important having top management commitment to communicate this throughout the entire organization. But then it's important during this analysis or consulting process. It's very important listening to all actors, all involved actors, so no one gets excluded from the process. And it's important listening to all their needs and putting them all together or with the original goals on site, no? But we need to listen to them and offer them solutions to improve their work day, basically, no? And what helps us is besides that is developing what we called, I don't know the exact acronym in English, but we call it something like a normalized work process, which is like some sort of tutorials. So this helps very much for the users when they face a new environment and they don't know how to start with. They have this guide. This also help, and in the end, it's, as I said, it's about being a partner to customers. It's listening to them, offering them support, and also continuously improving their workflows. It's not about imposing our system. This is our software. That's what you are going to do. It is about making their work life easier and try to adapt or customize our software if possible to ship that whenever this is in the context of the company goals, of course.
Yeah, so communication and dialogue are key recipes for everything.
Absolutely.
Solus, yeah, and I see that Solus turned on his camera. So if you would like to add or to share your insights, please join us.
Thank you for the answer. I think, yes, maybe we could expect to find some silver bullets, but I guess there are none.
Except of repeating and repeating again.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for being so active, Solus. One more question from attendees that we got before the webinar. How to choose the right partners in this journey? As you mentioned in your presentation, Narcís, the company should look to ERP providers as a not as a suppliers, but like a partners. So, but how to choose the right partners and to know that they are the right ones, especially when there are several of them in the market?
Well, it's basically again speaking with them, no, or maybe considering researching for partners. When you find those which you consider interesting, you should probably meet them, speak with them, and ask them to explain you how they approach the implementation, what they can offer you, and you will hopefully find which one is the one which resonates with you, no, with which partner you feel comfortable. It's not as just before the session I was speaking with our sales manager, and he was saying we are not we are not here the center of the equation. The customer is in the center of the equation, and we are just surrounding them, helping, gravitating around them, helping them with their needs. It's basically that. When you find a partner that resonates with you, what your company needs is, and their offer seems suitable for you, you will find that one. It's not. Of course, there are some. I'm not commenting about the technical aspects. If you start looking at websites or brochures or whatever, you will see if a partner in a technical level fits your needs. Of course, first and foremost, the solution offered by the IT partner has to solve your technical needs, but then it's also how they can accompany, how do they understand you during all this transformation process.
But Narcís, let me challenge you. Usually salespeople, they are very charismatic, very nice people, and they put a charm on you, and you forget everything what you really care about. Maybe you have, I don't know, like top 2 questions that any company should ask their P provider, to understand that it's not just a charm, but it's real business and real partner that you could expect in this complicated journey. Like 2 top questions you recommend to ask us.
Okay, well, one question would be, show me the software, first of all. What we usually do is, in the sales process, we don't go, not only sales staff goes with the customer, but also consultants or project managers participate in the process. So from the very beginning, the potential customer sees how the technical staff within the provider will work with them, and we call it some like pre-sales technical analysis. No, it is interesting for a customer seeing this part of the activity, because they start seeing how the provider understands them and how it kind of start helping them, first of all. So it's not about only seeing sales bells and whistles, but also having a little sneak peek of how the provider works, and also offering them, or customers asking the provider to show them the software and explain how the software can help solve their needs. So basically, with this pre-sales analysis put together with a software demonstration, they can have a very clear example of how this provider and their solutions will work for them.
Thank you. So ask former members of the team, not only sales team, to meet you. Okay, thank you, Narcís. And dear audience, if you do have any questions, so it's your time to ask them. Otherwise, you may contact Narcís via LinkedIn or any other means of communication. And we still do have 2 more questions, and one is related to artificial intelligence. You mentioned that ERP is already integrated with some artificial intelligence technology aspects. So could you elaborate on that a bit more? Is it artificial intelligence in ERP system just a buzzword, or is it a reality that really helps companies to make better decisions?
Well, I first must say I'm not an artificial intelligence specialist. But no, it's not a buzzword. No, as in business areas are common those days of speaking about IoT, artificial intelligence, machine learning, or blockchain, etc. No, it's not really a buzzword, but it's about how would I say, MRP systems can plan, but up to a certain amount. No, it's about non-intelligent planning. It's about just like filling the gaps, but it's just a manufacturing proposal where plant manager probably has to adjust with applying their business know-how. On the other hand, manufacturing artificial intelligence algorithms obtain this information so they can plan with like replication thing the plant manager know-how for.
Okay, so that means that artificial intelligence ERP is a reality, not just wishful thinking, right?
Yes, sure, yes.
Okay, so we have one more new technology to be implemented in our Industry 4.0 or even Industry 4.0 companies. Okay, Narcís, and the last question from our audience is related to money, of course. And people were asking how to evaluate real return on investment when we talk about ERPs.
Sorry, could you please repeat it?
How to evaluate real ROI, return on investment
yes.
of ERPs. How should we calculate that?
Basically, it's about when we define the purpose and goals we define for the digitalization process, and when we define those implementation stages I told you about, it's about defining which ROE element we are going to achieve with any of those stages. So we have a complete set of goals, and we have to define a percentage of achievement on each stage. So of course, when the full implementation is complete, it's 100%, but we have to slice this percentage within each stage according to the return the investment provides us, and with every single stage, I would calculate it the way.
Okay, so piece by piece.
Yeah.
Okay, Narcís, so thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. Thank you everyone for attending the webinar, and thank you for your questions in advance. I think that it's a very good habit that Limpra implemented, as not everyone could participate in the webinar, but we could get questions to answer as they care most. And there is one more important thing I would like to recommend you doing today, if you haven't done it yet. So get a free assessment and find out how your SME can move forwards towards Industry 5.0. And you may evaluate your company's digital maturity. And I hope that someone from Limpra's team could put a link in a chat box, and project experts will get back to you with a wholesome analysis of your strengths and weakness and help you come up with an action plan. So it's completely free of charge. And if you would like to participate in RestartSMEs activities, so you are more than welcome to join that. And Karolis and other Aquila, I see that Aquila puts a link, so everyone from Limpra is willing to answer any question you have regarding your digital journey. So thank you once again for being here with us, and regards for Spain, Portugal, Belgium, Lithuania. We had attendees from both countries today, real international workshop. Have a good working day, and see you in next events of RestartSMEs and Limpra's webinars, of course. Have a good day.
Thank you very much.